What's up guys? Some of you have been having issues with my Ubuntu theme, so I wanted to take this time to make a video on how you guys can optimize the theme. Also a couple of tips and tricks that maybe you guys might want to know. So if you want to make your theme better and if you want to optimize it and you're having trouble, this is a video to watch. So let's get started. Now, because I know this video might be long, so what I've done is I've created different categories. So if you look at the description, I've also put some time codes so that way you guys can just jump right into whatever section it is that you guys are trying to do, whether it's troubleshooting or optimizing your phone. So if you're having any SD card transfer issues, white boxes are showing up, MIUI theme is not showing up, you can't edit UCCW, your apps are crashing, make sure you take a look at my troubleshooting guide. I also have some optimization tips and tricks, so just look down at the description or just watch the whole entire video. So the very first issue that I am seeing is a lot of you guys are having trouble with transferring the files to your SD card or your internal storage. So when you download the Ubuntu Boss theme, you will see an SD card folder. Now this folder, you're not really supposed to copy this entire folder into your internal storage. What you're actually supposed to do is double click into the SD card folder and go inside the folder. Then what you do is you grab all these files and then you put them into the root directory of your phone. Let me show you exactly what I mean by that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to plug my phone in right now, just so you guys can see. So I plugged in my phone, and now once my phone is plugged in, you'll notice that there is an internal storage here that'll show up on Nexus 4. Now if you have an SD card, it'll say SD card. So you double click here, and then what you want to do is you want to transfer all of these files into this root directory here. So it'll be the very first directory. You don't want to do this. You don't want to take the SD card and then put it in, excuse me, there it goes. You don't want to take the SD card and put it in here, because then you'll have a folder called SD card in your internal storage or your SD card. So in other words, you'll have like an SD card. What you want to do is click on SD card and then transfer these files onto your SD card or internal storage. So some of you have been seeing some white boxes appear, and I haven't had any of those issues, but I believe it is a resource issue. So go ahead and watch my tips and tricks section on this video, but also you can take away UCCW. If you want to keep the theme dynamic, you can use minimalistic text. So let me show you guys how to set that up, just in case some of you don't know how to use it. And for those of you that already know how to use it, might want to skip this part. I just don't want to leave you guys high and dry. So go ahead and download minimalistic text, and it is a free widget. Go ahead and choose 3x1, and you can also do something similar to like this on UCCW, and I'll talk about that in a second. This little kind of a tip. Go on check show background. You want to hide that. And then right here we're going to do a custom layout. So make sure right here where it says predefined layout, go ahead and scroll all the way to the bottom where it says custom, and then we're going to go ahead and push on custom layout, and it's going to show us a couple of the kind of a predetermined custom layout that they have already on there. You just kind of want to delete all of these, and we're going to add a static text. Now you have to find that by going down to miscellaneous, and then you're going to see up here static text. Go ahead and push, hold it down until you drop it right here. Go ahead and push on static text, and now we're going to modify that text. And in this case, we're going to use Office. Okay. Now here's the different styles that you can pick. So for example, I'm going to pick Scented. And right here, the reason why I'm doing that is because see how I didn't capitalize it? They have already different text styles that you can modify. So for example, when I push on a Scented, it is bold and it tells me the different size and colors. So that this way it'll allow you to modify it. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK just to see what it looks like. So you kind of give you an idea that it is not really the size that I want. So you can go ahead and just click on it and change the widget direction. So I want it, for example, maybe if you want a little bit lower, I kind of want it more towards the left, not centered. That way it's all the way towards the left. The the text seemed to be a little bit on the smaller side. So I'm not going to go through the whole entire thing, but just kind of giving you an idea of how to tweak this. Let's see what it looks like now. It looks a lot better. Now we just need to put it a little bit higher. So you can tweak it around, and you can also add more you can add more widgets, or text to this widget. So for example, if you do custom layout, you can add another one to the bottom. So for example, you go back to miscellaneous, and you can add more text. Now, the way I was doing it right now, you want to add another row. So that way when you add another text, it's below that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm just going to write test for right now. So just go ahead and push on that, and I'm just going to put test. Okay. Go ahead and push on OK. Let's go all the way back. So now I have 2 down below. So you could, in theory, do something like this, gaming and then my pictures, and then that would be one widget. And you can do the same with UCCW. And that way, instead of having 2 widgets, you only have 1. Now, I'm seeing a lot of you guys have issues with the MIUI theme. Now, you don't have to pay for it. I do like to donate to the developers. So, for example, you see here, donate. All you have to do is push on this MIUI theme. Like I said, you don't have to donate. It is optional, but if you keep scrolling down right here where it says developer's website, which is the website I included in my original description, it will take you to his website. Because a lot of you guys are having trouble, and try to do this with your phone, it's a lot better. What you want to do is you want to download the free version, the latest one. I'm doing, I believe, the dark theme. Once it begins to download, it is actually an APK. This is something that you have to install, because a lot of you guys, I think, are just putting this file onto the SD card, and this is probably the reason why you can't find it in the theme section under the TSF launcher. Now, in order to install an APK, you must make sure that you have this check marked under security, or it's under settings, unknown sources. Otherwise, you won't be able to install it because you're side-loading an application. So once the download's complete, go ahead and push on that, and it'll ask you if you want to install this theme. So because I already have it installed, I'm not going to install it, and it's asking me to replace the app. But otherwise, once you install it, it should show up on the TSF launcher themes area. Now, some of you are saying that you cannot edit the UCCW widget. In other words, when you push on it, you can't do anything. And the reason why is because hotspot is enabled. In order to take that off, you need to go on to UCCW. So go ahead and find it in your app list. And once you find it, go ahead and push on it. And what you need to do is go to the settings, go into hotspots mode, and you want to turn it off. This will allow you to edit any UCCW widget. So now when I push on it, it will take me to UCCW. So this will allow you to edit the widget locker area and all the UCCW widgets that we've created in this theme. Now, some of you guys are having issues with applications crashing. So I highly recommend doing a few things. Number one is uninstalling the application that you're having an issue with. So this could be maybe that you already had it installed before, and for whatever reason, something's corrupt. So first thing I would do is uninstall it. Once you've uninstalled it, and by the way, don't pirate apps. A lot of you guys think that I pirate apps, but I pay for every single one of my applications. That could be another issue too. Some of you guys that are pirating apps, there could be issues. So I highly recommend, make sure you purchase them. The other thing is make sure you update the app, and that's a good thing. If you pay for an app, you don't have to go out and keep pirating the updated version. So it's just more convenient. I don't know why you guys do that. For some of you out there, I've seen on your comments, you know, these guys don't work for free. You don't work for free, so don't pirate apps. And I highly recommend you guys just update that, and I think that'll really help you guys. Definitely uninstall if you're having issues, and reinstall and see if that helps you guys out. Now here's a few optimization tricks that will allow you to run your phone a lot faster and smoother. The first thing you want to do is just use one wallpaper. That's right, this is a centered wallpaper, which means it doesn't move or cycle through any of them. The only thing you have to keep in mind is, for example, in my third wallpaper that I use 3 widgets, you can see that it's off. But as long as you do 2 like this, you shouldn't have any problems. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is you can just use a different wallpaper and it'll look great. Let me show you. So one of my favorite wallpapers is the honeycomb wallpaper, and as you can see here, this one actually scrolls just like normal Android. I kind of like that when it scrolls. So this is more of a traditional Android background scrolling wallpaper, and it doesn't use up that much resources. Actually, it's very minimal because you're not using multiple wallpapers. So this is really going to save you a ton of battery. At the same time, it's going to be very fluid and smooth. So that's another recommendation, is using just standard wallpaper that you like, or one that kind of looks like Ubuntu. As you can see, I've changed my colors to blue to kind of match that. Reminds me of ice cream sandwich, the blue theme, and I like that. So this sort of reminds me of my first theme, how to theme your Android phone like a boss. So I like it, and that's another tips or trick that you guys can do. Now, if you must use a multi-live wallpaper and you are pretty good at Photoshop, then what I recommend you do is use my source file, the Ubuntu Screen PSD, and once you load it up, you can put the text into the file. So for example, I have added home here. Go ahead and you can even position it wherever you want. You can add another one, and I'm using the Roboto font so that it matches. You can download that for free off the internet. So for example, here I could put featured, oops, can't spell here, featured apps. Anyway, I don't even know if I'm spelling that correctly. But you could just incorporate this into the actual background image. So this way, once you do this, this is actually part of the background image and you don't have to mess with anything. These are not widgets, but the problem with this is you don't make it dynamic. Now this is not really a bad thing if you already have all your home screen set up, but this is an alternative, so that way you don't have so many widgets running at the same time. And whenever you need to tweak this, you could just come to Photoshop and resave the image and of course apply that. But this is probably something more for people that know how to use Photoshop and are comfortable modifying these files. Another way to optimize resources is by not using so many screens. So if you're using TSF Launcher, go ahead and push down here, and then at the very top left, you're going to go ahead and push on that. Now as you can see, all the different screens that we're using, all you need to do is just push and hold. Go ahead and delete that and just start using less. So that's another way you can save battery and not use so many resources. Another way to save on resources is to find applications that do the same thing but use up less resources. So for example, this is UCCW Widget, but you may find another one like minimalistic text that can do the same thing but uses up much less resources. Now in order for you to find out what applications are doing, go ahead and push on settings, and then you want to go into apps. This will allow you to see right here when you scroll to running. This will allow you to see what's running, and then it'll show you how much RAM you have left and how much RAM is being used. So for example, I can see here that UCCW is using 10 megabytes of RAM. Now if I go ahead and use a different application, I may find out that it uses up less resources, so I might want to can this one. So this may be a trial and error. Now as you can see, TSF Shell Launcher uses 108 megabytes, which is quite a bit, using 3 processes and 1 service. Now, you may want to use a different launcher instead, but you're going to lose certain functionality, like of course the side panel here. If this is something that you can live with, remember also the customization of me being able to just move this around and fine-tune it. Some of you may not know this, and some of you may know this, but you can rotate applications like this by turning your finger around, and look at that. So not many launchers can do that. So if you're willing to compromise certain features like these for better battery life and resources, that might be the way to go. Otherwise, you know, you're gonna have to kind of suck it up, because certain things like this is really nice. So that really depends on the type of launcher, resources, and a lot of different variables that are you know, you have to consider. So just kind of a little FYI there. So because some of you guys wanted to know more about UCCW, the lock screen part of it, on how to enable messages or change that, I'm going to show you a quick tutorial. So I have Widget Locker loaded, and I'm going to go ahead and add a new widget. And this is going to be a UCCW 3 by 1. Now, in your case, you could just click on it to edit it. Remember the Ubuntu lock? This is basically what I'm talking about. So right here it has 0 messages received. We're going to go ahead and modify this, or I'm going to show you how you can modify this. So for example, if you want to add a different type of notification, so what you want to do is select the text messages, and we're going to get rid of this one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let's say, for example, or you know what, let's not get rid of it, let's add more. Let's go ahead and add, let's see, how about we add missed calls. So we're going to go ahead and push on missed calls and hit close. Okay, so as you can see here, I have to select my missed calls object, and I'm going to move it around down here. So I'm going to have multiple ones. Okay, now you can fine tune this. Let's go ahead and change the color to white so that we know. There it is. And the size is going to be, let's just increase it to 35. I don't remember what the other one is. So what you want to do is kind of position it close to the other one. So use this control here to sort of match. Go ahead and probably right about right there. Go ahead and close that. Now, I'm going to actually, I'm just going to add, right here it says 0 messages received, and I'm going to put 0 missed calls. Now we're going to change depending on how many calls we have. So we're going to go ahead and add another text. This is just going to be static text number 2. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select object, static text number 2, and move it over here. Okay, remember, use the positioning to really fine tune it. Now you can also do this for faster movement, so you don't have to, you know, go as those little movements. Go ahead and close that. I'm going to change the color to white, and then I'm going to change the size to 35. Okay. Now I'm also going to change the text. Remember, we don't want it to say text object. We want it to say 0 missed calls. Okay. Actually, it's capitalized calls. Go ahead and push on OK. So now let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So now we have 0 messages received, 0 missed calls. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and resize this, tweak it so it's more in dead center. There we go. That's looking pretty cool. I need to capitalize the messages and received. But anyhow, so now what we want to do is create a hotspot. Now in order to create a hotspot, what you need to do is push on select object and then push on hotspots. So as you can see, we have one here, there's another one, and if you want to keep adding them, just push on 3, and then, you know, if I push on 3, then there's number 3. So I can keep adding as many hotspots as I want. So I'm going to go ahead and select number 2, and I'm going to move it over here where it says 0 missed calls. Okay, now as you can see, it's a lot bigger, or it's actually smaller, less wider than number 1. So we're going to have to change the height. Go ahead and drop that down to, let's just say about 50. Okay, go ahead and push done. And then what we need to do is also change the width. We need to make it a lot bigger. So I believe, let's just try 400 for now. Okay, that's much better. Now we need to change the position. Remember, this is where your finger is going to push on it. So right around there is actually a little lower. Right around there is perfect. Now it says no hotspot has been assigned. Now if we push on number 1, it says that messaging has been assigned. So when I push on it, it's going to take me to messaging. So now what we want to do is assign hotspot number 2. When I push on it, where is it going to take me to? Remember, this is a missed call. So I can say, do I want it to clear the hotspot? Do I want to load an app? So I'm going to put app in this case. And I'm going to find contacts. Well, I missed a call, so, you know, whatever, it's just a demo. So I'm just going to put Chrome Beta when I push on it, okay? So now that should work. But in order for it to work, we have to enable hotspots. Once you enable hotspots, you can't go back and edit widgets, okay? So now when I push on missed calls, it should load Chrome. There it is, Google Chrome. So in theory, you want it to go to your missed calls area. Anyhow, that's really what you wanted to do. So now you can have as many as you want, 0 messages received, 0 missed calls. So this is actually looking pretty good. I might end up doing 3 or 4 down here. So when I'm looking at my lock screen, I have all the information that I need. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial / troubleshooting guide for my Ubuntu theme, and also maybe learn something new on how to do different things and theme your phone. If you guys want to learn more about my stuff, just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of different tips and tricks, hands-on videos, and talk about technology if you're new to my channel. For those of you that know me, thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate that. And for those of you that are not on my theming community, make sure you subscribe to that if you are on Google+. Once again, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.